Okay, we're going to do data analysis number 2 for the semester. So let's get started on this. First, let me share my screen. So hopefully you can see data analysis, and we're going to do data analysis number 2. I'm going to go quickly, so feel free to pause as we're going. So we'll start with the first one. First one is a break-even analysis. When we look at this, okay, the data sheet contains a list of products with cost information. Each row provides information about one product, including its color, unit selling price, unit variable cost, and total fixed cost. Let's open this up and take a look. It's about what it is. We have the products, color, unit sales price, unit variable cost, fixed cost. We need to calculate break-even point and break-even point in sales. So let's see, break-even point first. Break-even point in units, what we can do is we can say this is just going to be, actually I'm going to add a column here. You don't have to do this, there's ways around it, but I'm going to add a column and say I want the marginal. What's going on? We're syncing the workbook. Okay, let's not do that. Okay, marginal contribution. So we'll add the marginal contribution column, right? And so marginal contribution is going to be our unit selling price minus our unit variable cost. So we remember the marginal contribution is how much every unit we sell contributes, first of all, to meeting our fixed costs to get us to break-even point, and then past our break-even point, how much it contributes to our net income or profit for the company, right? So okay, so we do that, and we come up with our marginal contribution for each one. And then our break-even point now is just going to be our fixed costs divided by our marginal contribution for each of our products. That's great. And we'll check this. Let me see. We'll check it. Remember, your numbers are going to be different, but we'll check it and make sure I didn't mess up my formula at all. There we go. The next one, we need our break-even point in terms of sales. Right? So this is easy. Break-even point in units is how many units we have to sell before we start making a profit. Break-even point in sales is just going to be what the total revenue is for that amount of sales. So we just do our break-even point in units times our selling price. And there we go. Double check I didn't type something in wrong. Okay. And then I can copy it down. Oops. What happened there? This, and I'm gonna copy it down. Okay, so this tells us we have a number of units we have to sell to break even, and what that equals in revenue to break even for each product. Cool. Now we create our pivot table, and we want to figure out with our pivot table was the highest break even point among all the white products. Okay, so we create our pivot table. I'm going to click there, create a pivot table. Right, you make sure the table range is right, and the new worksheet. I click on the top left corner, and usually it'll fill in the right table range. Okay, we have a new pivot table. So let's look at the question again. What is the highest break-even point in sales dollars among all the white products? So I know that I'm going to need a color filter. Okay, and I'm going to be looking at all of the products. So I'll put the products in the rows, and I want the break-even point in sales. So now I can filter by colors. I just want the white ones. I don't know why I want to manufacture a white product, but I do. And so I look at that, and then I am looking at here's the break-even point in sales. I want to know which is the highest. What I'm going to do is, instead of sum here, I'm going to change my value field setting and make it the max. And then my grand total here will be equal to the maximum. So that's going to be product 4, it looks like. For me. So I just copy that and check it out. Okay. Good. Okay, question 2. What is the lowest unit contribution margin among the following 6 products. Okay, so what I want to know, and this is a good thing I created that new column for the contribution margin. I have these products, and I want to know which one has the lowest contribution margin. So I can get rid of my color, and I actually just want to filter by the products. And then I'm going to look at my contribution margin for each one. So here's all of them, and I'm just going to look at 6 of them. So I can filter, let's see which 6 I want. So 1, 2, 3, 14. Yours are going to be different, just so you know. 15 and 184. $252. Okay, so there I have that. And it's saying what is the lowest unit contribution margin among those products. So here I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to change, instead of looking at the sum of contribution margins, I'm going to look for the min. And that'll give me the lowest. I can see the lowest is 32. There we go. Presto. Okay, Q3. What is the margin of safety in dollars for product 119? So margin of safety, right? Margin of safety is how far are we beyond our break-even point. And so we know that, okay, let's look at the products. We're just looking at product 119. So we'll change our filter and just look at product 119. And so we don't need a margin of contribution. We want our break-even point in sales. And what we're trying to find out is this amount, right? Okay. This amount that it gives us, which is our sales, right? How much is this greater than our break-even point in sales, right? Okay, and that's easy enough to do. You just take the sales minus that, and that'll give our safety. Okay, there we go. So again, margin of safety is simply how far are we beyond our break-even point. And here it's asking for margin of safety in dollars. Sometimes they'll ask for it in a percent or in a number of units, right? But they're asking for it in margin of safety in dollars. So just how far is this total sales past our break-even sales? Okay, Q4. How many additional units of product 117 must be sold beyond its break-even point to achieve a target of this profit? Okay, so now we're saying we have a target profit. Okay, let's get rid of this. So there's our target profit. I need to make sure I select the right. I'm not looking at 119, I'm looking at 117 now. Okay, and there's my break-even sales, but I want this profit. Okay, how many additional units of product must that be? So here's an interesting thing we can do. We already know our marginal contribution for each unit, right? And so we know that every unit we sell for this one is an extra $122 toward our profit target once we hit the break-even point. So they're saying how many additional units must be sold beyond the break-even point. So really, how many times do we have to get that marginal contribution to hit our goal here? And so I can just say it's equal to our target profit divided by our marginal contribution. So that'll tell me how many we have to sell. Okay, so that means I have to sell an extra 420 units to get that profit goal. Awesome. Okay, Q5. Company A performed its analysis and narrowed the choices down to 4 products based on profitability only. Which product should the company manufacture? Okay, so let's look at the, we're going to look at just those 4 products. What do we have? 50, 91, 131, 158, 50. I can remember them all. Okay, so I look at those four products, and I am trying to figure out which one is the most profitable based only on profitability. Oh, and I have, whoa, that's important. I have to put in the units for each one. Can I copy these? Let's see if I can paste this in here so I can, oh, look at that. Okay, units. Oh, they're not in order. Let's see. N91 is 14.5. Okay, so the units for each one. So okay, so let's look at this. I want to know the profitability. So how do I calculate profitability? So if I'm looking at my pivot table, I can say there's a couple different ways I can do my profitability. I could just actually take my marginal contribution times the quantity, and then subtract off my fixed costs, right? And that would give me my profitability. So that works. The other way I could do it, I could do, you know, what I'm going to do is I'll go back and pretend I didn't calculate the marginal contribution, which is really just the selling price minus the variable cost, right? And so what instead I'll do is I will say it's selling price minus variable cost, right, times the number of units. Come on. Times the number of units, and then subtract the fixed costs, right? And that will give me my profit. So there you go. So I can look at my profit for each item. Okay, and then it's performance analysis. Which product should we make? I want the one with the highest profit, right? So I'll use max of these four, right? And that gives me the highest profit there. Sounds good. And I know that that's product 158. So product 158. Presto. So I hope that was useful. Have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you later. If I can figure out how to end.